Welcome to another Mole in the Morning and your gaming news for the 25th of October, which is a Tuesday of 2022. And today we have actually a bunch of news, not necessarily always the biggest ones, but definitely some interesting ones here and there. So, with that said, let's jump right into it. The first news is that the writer of Disco Elysium, one of the craziest games I've ever played in my life, has now been fired a lawsuit against its former studios. Because if you've missed it, unfortunately, some of the main creators of Disco Elysium and also some of the founders of Studio Zom, I just call them Zom, have been kicked out a few months ago. Yep, they fired them. Why did they fire them? Well, because the shareholders and owners, basically, of that studio wanted to make more money, and they also made multiple deals where they had the feeling that, well, those people could be an issue. Why? Well, if you don't know, Zom and of course Disco Elysium is a very left of the on the spectrum in politics, right? Like it's a like some people would call it like communism and all that, but it's a very left on the political spectrum game. And the creators of Disco Elysium are too, right? They have been very left. And now basically the people who were in for the money were like, yeah, no, we have a hit here on our hands. We can make billions and billions. You, on the other hand, could be a problem because, well, you don't like capitalism too much. And so they kicked them out. Yeah. They kicked them out. So it now seems like that they have now been filing a lawsuit that they basically want money. Yeah. So the person who has filed this was Robert Kurwitz, the lead developer and writer on Disco Elysium, and he is now suing Studio Zom via his own company Telomere, and they now have filed a lawsuit to obtain information and review documents. So we will see how that goes and what ultimately comes out of this. And yeah, it's right now why I'm a little bit careful to report on this. This is pretty much a mess. Your word against my word, like people tell their part of the story, and we have to see what really happens there because like it was clear that the studio was not prepared for the huge success of Disco Elysium, and because of that a lot of things went south because now people clashed against each other who had different visions on where to go from here. So it's a bit like, yeah, we will see what's coming out of this and what is really going on here. It's messy. It's very messy because everyone has their own story to tell right now. Everyone is going in on their own accord, and yeah, not much to, or not too much to report about right now because it's an absolute mess. Yeah. So this is interesting. Reuters has been reporting that Microsoft has been a bit pissed and that they are looking now for their own Genshin Impact like game in order to appeal more to the Chinese market. So as you know, Genshin Impact is a huge success. A huge success. And, well, Microsoft has none of it because it isn't available on Xbox or any of the Microsoft products, right? Like, it is, of course, available on PC, right? But it's not linked to Microsoft slash Xbox in any shape or form. And apparently, Microsoft is scouting the Chinese market for new developers it could bring into the fold. And the company is also allegedly wooing even independent studios with big money offers. Because, let's be real here, Genshin Impact is a huge success, no question about it. But even like Tower of Fantasy, which I like more than Genshin Impact, has a huge following and is pretty big, right? And the problem is with Genshin Impact that Sony has been partnering with MiHoYo, which is the developer of the game. So they're not owning the IP, but they're basically like the console partners on all of this. And yeah, Microsoft is apparently regretting missing out on Genshin Impact and have briefly spoken to MiHoYo when Genshin was being developed, but talks fell through. I assume that MiHoYo was really thinking that the game would be a major success. They wanted a lot of money, and Microsoft said, nah, we don't think so. This game is a niche product at best. Like, we don't really need this. How Microsoft sometimes is, how big companies sometimes are, let's face it. And yeah, picking up Genshin Impact made Sony a lot of money, according to Reuters. And they have been absolutely happy with the deal. So I can see that Microsoft wants to get in on this. Now you might ask, okay, why are they not partnering with Tower of Fantasy then? Right? Like, if you want to have a direct competitor, Tower of Fantasy, right? Yeah, no. The problem with Tower of Fantasy is it is owned by Tencent. Tower of Fantasy is a Tencent product. And Tencent doesn't need any partnership. They are not interested in any partnership. And they are a direct competitor to Microsoft, like Sony is. So Microsoft has no interest to go with them. Right? Like, it's like, yeah, no. My hair is horrible. Ignore it. I can't ignore it. Damn it. Trying to make gaming news with my hair. And Pale Moon, good to see you. I saw what you said. But yeah. So Microsoft has apparently been pretty pissed of missing out on Genshin Impact, which I can understand. Like, Genshin Impact, lol, Impact made what, 3.2 billion on mobile alone? Like, that thing is a gold mine. That is Minecraft level of money they are making. And it seems like it will never stop. Or not stop anytime soon. So yeah. I can understand Microsoft being not so happy about this. Ooh, next news. Well, this is an interesting one. This is not necessarily gaming related, but it is gaming related. Wait, what? It's not about gaming, it's about Nvidia. So there has been a news going around quite a bit that apparently an RTX 4090 new power adapter has burned. Yep. Like burned. This was a Reddit post. There you can see the burned adapter. And you can see the burn plugin. Now, of course, immediately people were coming to question this. And they were like, oh, random Reddit user, who knows what he did there. Keep in mind, this was posted in the Nvidia thread. So a lot of people immediately jumped to defending Nvidia. But as it turns out, this was apparently tested with some other Nvidia cards. And this was even tested in labs when the standard Nvidia cards arrived, and they had similar results. And apparently, and this is a big apparently, we will see if that is really true or not, this has to do with the new adapter and how the adapter is a bit cheap. And so depending on which angle you're using for the adapter, because it's a 35 millimeter cable, you have to bend it in a certain way. If you don't do that, damage might happen, and things like this might happen. It's kind of hilarious because Nvidia is pointing that out in the manual, like, this is how you should bend the cable, this is how you shouldn't bend the cable, right? Well, it's a bit, yeah. Like, nobody is reading that. So the chance for this to happen might be quite high, because people will not read the manual on how to bend the cable properly. And then, of course, you could ask the question like, really? So if I'm not bending the cable in the right way, I might burn the power connector? Like, huh. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Of course that this can happen by just like doing the wrong like bending of a cable. I think I've never had that happen. Look, looking at my cable management, I would say my cable management of my PC is like kind of okay-ish, not great. I would not show it around, but I never had any issues because of it. And that we are coming to a point where literally cable management can burn your card? And keep in mind, this is the NVIDIA adapter. So NVIDIA basically has an adapter so that you can plug in your 2 8 pins into the adapter, and then you can plug in the adapter in here, right? Kind of funny, AMD has, even though they haven't been talking a lot about their new GPUs, They have been confirming because of this to date, because, well, of course they have. This is like great PR marketing material right here. They have been announcing that their new AMD cards will not use a 12-pin connector, but two 8-pins, as cards have been doing for quite some time. Yep. So they would just use the standard 8-pin connector. So yeah, that is going on. I keep you posted if anything bigger happens. Now, keep in mind, we haven't really heard much about it yet. Besides of, funny enough, driver issues. I know we have talked about this before, that everyone is hating on AMD and they are saying like, oh, AMD has so many driver issues. I'm like, what are you talking about? When was the last time you have used an AMD card and really had driver issues? Yeah, back in the day, you couldn't play GTA 4 on an AMD card on release. Yeah, that was nearly 20 years ago, but thanks. It's like so many people shitting on the AMD drivers, and I think the AMD drivers are 10 times better than NVIDIA drivers have been. Like, keep in mind, I had to use my old Vega 56 as an emergency card for a few days. And even just a few days in, the drivers were so much better on AMD. Like, people defending NVIDIA drivers have been a little bit weird in my mind, because I also remember when the 2080 Super came out and the Super cards, which I was using for the first 3 months, I would say the drivers have been really shitty for the Super, and the performance on the Super was not great. And then it got better because they figured it out, they fixed it. But to be fair, absolving NVIDIA from shitty drivers, that's a reach. That's a reach. Yeah. All right. But with that said, let's talk about something else. We've been talking a little bit about this earlier in the stream when I wasn't recording this. Apparently, people are really pissed about the new Overwatch Halloween event. As you know, every year there is the so-called Overwatch Halloween of Terror event, where you have a fun little PvE mode and then you get some cool Halloween skins. This year, people are not very happy, because now that Overwatch is free to play, right, they have been changing the rules a little bit in how to get skins. And I think I would just show you a picture so that you can easily understand what the heck is going on here. So the top one are the 3 free skins and a little bit of cash you can win by doing this event and grinding the hell out of it. And then down here are 2 skins. No, they are not costing $40 each. They are costing $20 each. In total, it's $40. And especially this skin is something a lot of people want. And people are just like, $20 for one skin? Are you mad? Like, I know we talked about this before, but I think a lot of free-to-play games have lost their plot a little bit on how much they ask for so-called microtransactions. Because they're not microtransactions anymore. Like, you can literally buy multiple. For one Overwatch skin, you could buy the new RimWorld expansion, which would probably give you hundreds of hours of playtime. Like, just to put that into perspective. Like, the problem is just that microtransactions are not microtransactions anymore. They're asking far too much money. And Overwatch has now the problem that it is far too much. Like, there's this kind of meme going around that people are looking, they want the loot boxes back, right? They're now at the point that they are saying, we want our loot boxes back, because at least for the loot boxes, we would still get the stuff for free. And if not, at some point we could just buy it for in-game currency because we accumulated like tons of double skins or something like that. Like, the reality is, and this is something which really annoys me personally, you bought Overwatch 1 for $60 or €60, and then you just had to play the game to earn those skins, right? Or you could buy the loot boxes if you really wanted to. Now it's free to play, and you would pay so much more. Like, 2 skins alone cost $40. It's really problematic. And on top of that, the battle pass in League of Legends feels, not League of Legends, sorry, in Overwatch. I was about to start League of Legends. In Overwatch feel very bad. They do feel really bad. And when you look at other games like League of Legends, or here in this case we have TFT, like, you're paying $10 for the battle pass. You're also getting like some cool free stuff, like the legendary Sauna Spirit as a character you can play. And you are also getting like the premium currency for TFT. You get that for free. Right? Like, you are getting a lot of really, really good stuff. I don't know, has League of Legends, I think League of Legends also has, do they have a battle pass? I haven't played League of Legends in years, so don't look at me. They have an event store going on right now. Oh yeah, there's the World Battle Pass, because the League of Legends World Championships are going on right now, and you are getting tons of this currency if you buy it, right? And then you can just buy the skins you want, right? So that's pretty amazing. Because then you can just choose for yourself, right, what you want and what you don't want. So, yeah. Yeah. The Battle Pass in Overwatch right now is really bad, unfortunately. So it doesn't really surprise me too much that Overwatch 2 players are pretty unhappy. Like, I've been saying this before, but I have been really wondering, what was the reason for Overwatch 2, besides of transforming it into a free-to-play game, which isn't really good? Like, the gameplay hasn't changed. The microtransactions got worse. I cannot believe I'm saying this after we had loot boxes in the game. And all in all, it just feels like Overwatch 2 is a massive step back, and Blizzard doesn't really know what to do with it. Like, it's a live service game where Blizzard feels like they sometimes don't know how to handle a live service game, which is kind of odd, because you would expect after, what, 18 years of World of Warcraft, have kind of figured it out, how to handle a live service game. Well, no, actually they don't, because looking at World of Warcraft, they fail even at that sometimes. But it's just so weird to see that, which, by the way, makes me a little bit fearful for Diablo 4, which is clearly a live service game, or game as a service, or whatever you want to call it, shared world, or whatever they're calling it now. Yeah, makes me a little bit afraid of where we are going with that. So we will see. Speaking of making money and doing stupid things. So I have been talking about this a few weeks ago. I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. But in New World, Amazon has been using their advertisement, right? I think I have showed this where when you were logging into New World and you were still in the login menu, you have like ads for Amazon Prime shows like Lord of the Rings, right? They are promoting their Lord of the Rings show in New World with ads. And yesterday, they've been showing something new, something frightening even, and that is, well, this is the awesome Twitter. Let's see. I hope that Twitter is like.
To join, yeah, there it was, yo.
Yeah, he is going excited about this. So you can see it here in the pixelation, right there where my cursor is right now. This is an ad on a house. This is an in-game ad. Well, it's not quite an in-game ad. So the really interesting thing is this is the Return to Eternum event. They are starting on Twitch, and Amazon is paying big streamers to play the game, promote the game again after the big expansion, yada yada yada. And so this is super interesting. This is an ad which in-game you don't see it. You do not see this ad in-game. Only people who are watching the stream are seeing this ad. So it's basically something which is happening on the stream because Twitch, right? Twitch is knowing that you are playing New World, and so the technology they're using in the background is knowing where to put those ads. Now, this is of course a small example, and you might say, hey, this is kind of cool, right? Having a little ad for Return to Eternum, and that's pretty neat when that is popping sometimes up. I mean, it's just on the stream, that's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. This is horrible. This is just a testing balloon. It's just something they want to see how it works. But I can already tell you that at some point, if this works out, you're watching a Twitch stream and you're watching an Amazon game, or maybe even a third-party game because, well, it's money, you will have like Coca-Cola advertisement or Nike advertisement popping up in your game, and you can only see that on stream. And like, we had this idea for many years, for decades, right? And we had in-game advertisement before, like sport events, like F1, soccer, football, NBA, right? Like all those things which are somewhat connected with the real world, we had advertisements in-game. Happened, nothing new. And they have been thinking about for a long time how they can do this. But now think about it. If you would get a Coca-Cola advertisement in New World, you would kind of go like, wait a second, what? What is a Coca-Cola advertisement doing in a fantasy Renaissance game? Like, what is that doing here? Get the hell out of my game, right? People would be pissed about this, rightfully so, and this wouldn't really work. But, and this is unfortunately where the but is coming in, if you could make the point that this is only visible to the people who are watching your stream and doesn't interfere with your gameplay, that's fine, right? And I have to say, no, it's not. Because with Twitch's history, on how to handle advertisements, there will be a lot on your screen. There will be a lot of those advertisements on your stream. Lots of them. On every house, on every corner. Probably even some in-game skins. Like, this tank is using his shield, sponsored by Mars. Because Mars is sometimes so hard that it can even stop the attack of a raid boss. Like, the moment or the potential of abuse people could just run with this. It's like a mod stuff that brands won't like. Not in an online game. Like, I know that some people are like, yeah, this is what mods are for, yada, yada, yada. Not in an online game like this. Yeah, shield sponsored by Nokia. You cannot mod this out. And also, don't keep in mind, this is not in the game. Like, this is not, I explained this. This is not in game. This app thingy you see here. This is not in-game. There is nothing you can do about it. Only people on stream see this. He doesn't see this. He only saw it because he has a stream open, like every streamer has. Like, if you're a streamer, like a more professional streamer, you have your stream open on a second monitor, like I do. So no, like, you cannot really do anything about that, which is probably the idea here, right? This is also, well, for now at least, a pretty good way to circumvent the ad block. Like, the things they can do with this, he's advertising for it, that it is such a great idea and whatnot. It's not, it's horrible. I very much oppose this. Yeah, like, it's just like, there are so many things which can go wrong with this, but also it's very intrusive. And this is fine, right? Like, of course this is fine. This is a test balloon. This is something companies are just checking out. That they are not throwing immediately a Coca-Cola sign in here or whatever, or a Mercedes advertisement or whatever, right? Of course not. They are testing it with something small and innocent so that people are, like, slowly getting used to it. Like, this is how you make things happen, right? You're not, like, trying to shove it down people's throat. You were slowly making them used to it. Like, you were boiling them on low temperatures slowly. And yeah, I am very much opposed against this. But I said it before, this will happen more and more. Amazon, like Tencent with Trovo, and their Tencent games will utilize their platforms more and more and more. I mean, hell, Google tried to do this with Stadia and YouTube, right? Microsoft tried to do this with Mixer and Xbox. They screwed that up completely, but different topic. We will see this much more on Twitch. If you think that 5 minutes of ads every 20 minutes will be the most annoying thing you will see on Twitch regarding ads, oh, you're sorely mistaken. There will be much, much worse coming up for you. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see like even in-game advertisement much more. Like as I said, Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings Amazon show, is already promoted in New World when you're logging in. Like let me show you this. I can show you this right now. Let me boost up New World. That people can see that. Right? Like, I'm not making this up. Of course, this is all like still relatively small. And nothing of a big deal. But they will have probably at some point in-game events, in-game skins, and they would definitely try to connect it more and more to each other. So let me show you this very quickly. That people have seen this, but it's a frightening prospect, especially as somebody who hates advertisements. Like, I mean, Google Chrome is basically removing ad blocks pretty soon from their browser, right? I was like, yeah, because ads are coming back. Oh, look at that. Well, this is now a little bit awkward. This is now really awkward because they removed the Lord of the Rings promotion. Well, as we would say in Germany, Vorführeffekt. But normally here, like this particular banner was a Rings of Power banner. Makes sense because the show is over. Well, the first season is over, not the show is over, but the first season is over, so they're not promoting it anymore. But this banner was a Ring of Power banner. I still have a screenshot of it. I still have a screenshot on it on Twitter somewhere. But yeah, as I said, we will see this more and more, and it's a frightening prospect. Not gonna lie. As somebody who is trying to evade as many advertisements as possible, not having the ability to do so anymore, it's kind of frightening. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. I have the screenshot. So for people who are not believing me, it's like, here. It's a small thing, right? It's like it's not super invasive. It's not directly to the face. But as I said, that will probably change in the future. Like, this is moving to this, then from here to this banner, then it is the background, then it is an in-game event, then it is a trailer you have to watch before you're jumping into the game. Like, slowly. Slowly but surely. But with that said, we are done with the gaming news for today. I know it was a lot of like smaller things, but we will be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. ET over at youtube.com/@Chaosmole with more gaming news. And then of course we're playing some video games. Right now we will play some Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, which finally released. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you leave a like. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more daily gaming news, then I would appreciate if you might consider to subscribe. And as I said, check us out over at my main channel, where I'm also doing reaction videos, guides, and my daily live streams. With that said, stay safe. See you next time. Bye bye.